Hey everybody, thank you again for tuning in and checking us out again here. My name is Anthony Saxon and I am a saxophone player. So today I'm going to go ahead and share about my private jet experience. So for you guys who don't know me, you're probably asking, what is he talking about, private jet? He looks too young to own a private jet. I doubt he has the money to afford a private jet or a private jet flight. So you are correct. I do not own a jet. I don't have the money to afford one yet. But what I do have is employment at a private jet company. And one of the perks that we get through the company is when an aircraft is on the way to pick up an owner, that we are able to board that aircraft and fly to its destination. Sometimes we get lucky and it's headed to somewhere where we were already planning on going. So we get that opportunity to do that free of cost and get that experience. So I've had been with the company going on a year here, and I had tried once before, but I wasn't able to do it. So around New Year's, me and my fiance, we were heading up to upstate New York. She had already beat me there, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try and see if I can luck up and get a ferry flight heading out to the East Coast. And fortunately, I was able to get something going out that way to New Bedford. It was about a 2.5 hour drive to upstate New York. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go for an adventure and I'm going to do this. And I cut it close. I had to work that day till 12, and the flight departed at 12:30, and I was working from home. So I had to leave immediately, rush to the jet. But I'm going to go ahead and share just a little bit about what that experience was like. So first I arrived to the FBO, which is a fixed base operator where the plane departs out of. I get there and then the host is like, hey, you ready to go? And I'm like, yep. I don't know what to expect. I've never done this before. So they walk me straight to the jet. It's right on the tarmac. It's like a huge parking lot with a jet on it. And when I get out there are two pilots standing at the door of with the stairs with their hands crossed, and they're waiting on me as if the plane is mine. So I walk up, they introduce themselves and said, hey, you ready to go? I'm like, yeah. So they take my bag, they bring me on the plane. So for a private jet, it's a decent sized plane. It could fit 11 people comfortably. But this flight is just me. So I walk up, and they say, hey, so this is the captain's chair, or this is the chair where the first person sits, the main passenger essentially. And I'm like, okay, thanks. They show me everything. And then we get going. I think one of the coolest parts was as we were taxiing off and we were flying off of the runway, departing, we fly right past my job. So I'm like seeing my job as we're flying off on a company jet. So that was pretty cool too. But yeah, we get up to altitude, 40,000 feet, and I'm just looking around me and I'm just surrounded by opulence. Everything around me is the highest luxury item, from the leather of the seat to the fact that the seats move. They move away from the panel for extra room. You push a button and then a table comes out and you can put your laptop on it. There's a couch in the back. So you can go sit over there. You can get up, stretch your legs, do whatever you want, truly. There was a screen, like it'll show you like where you're at in your flight. You can control things on the plane. It just, everything, I would say, like think of like a Rolls Royce in the air. That's what it felt like, truly. And I could barely believe it. I had never experienced that, never thought I would, but being on that aircraft by myself, it was really life-changing. It was to be able to experience that opulence, that sense of just that moment where you realize, this is something that only a few people experience, or a small percentage of people experience. In hindsight, I think what was almost just as important as the opulence and the luxury experience, and why I could understand why people with wealth and means to fly privately do, the number one thing I noticed was the time and the efficiency and the ease that there was with getting on that flight. I didn't have to go through TSA. I didn't have to go through the scanner twice or get to there and then something is in my bag that I bought too much lotion, they have to throw it away, or anything like that. There was no nonsense. I just walked on the plane and we took off. And that was pretty unique to me. And I realized that, okay, people who do have the affluence to afford this product, the reason that they do it more than the luxury is the sense of time. Time is truly the only luxury that we have. Time is the only invaluable thing that we have that we can never get more of. But in flying in a private jet, you save an ample amount of time. You don't have to worry about, going again, like I said, through security, waiting at a gate, having to wait for a layover, any of those things that we subject ourselves to get a cheap flight, a $200 flight, a $300 flight. Those things become non-existent in the world of private aviation, because you're paying the amount needed to ensure everything is in sync with your schedule. And so I completely understand why people do that, from experiencing that myself, because that was one of the most smooth, seamless experiences I've ever had in my life. And I could understand, and I would say that if I did have the means to afford a private jet, I would be tempted to do it for that reason, if nothing else, just for the sense of having, being able to have more of my time. And so I do understand for people like a Bill Gates or like a Warren Buffett, or people whose time is their schedules are so sensitive, they have so many things, or Elon Musk even, their schedules are so sensitive that they need to maximize efficiency on every part. Almost like a fine working engine, each cylinder has to fire perfectly. So I completely do understand that now, and I don't think I would have appreciated it as much if I hadn't experienced that for myself. The other thing that I would say is, outside of the time element with the luxury experience, what it challenged me to do for myself is first find ways that I can save more time in my day-to-day life so that I can maximize my output, not just at work, but more particularly for the things that are important to me, like my music, like those sorts of things, like valuing family time, like prioritizing ways to make sure that I'm able to avail myself more. From a luxury standpoint, maybe we can't afford a private jet, but maybe you can treat yourself to a first class ticket and just see what that experience is like. You're going to notice a huge difference between your flight with 3 people in your seat row versus you have the seat to yourself. You have leg room, you have service that is of a higher caliber. Those little things, they make a big difference, and it's good to be good to yourself, to treat yourself well, to even spoil yourself to a degree, to give yourself luxury in some capacity or in some compartment of your life, because first it's like a reassuring thing that I believe helps you operate optimally in other places of your life. So that experience, again, it was truly transformative. As to if I will ever, have a private jet or a private jet share, that is to be determined. But it definitely changed my perspective from that. And I walked away saying I need to find a way to maximize the amount of time I have. And if it means paying someone some money to do something so I don't have to do it, so I can use that time to put towards something else that's going to potentially make me money or fulfill me personally, then it's worth it 100 times over. So that's my experience. I wanted to share that with you guys. I've been talking about trying to share it for over a month now, but I was like, you know what, today's the day. So please stay tuned for new videos coming out as well. I'm going to be talking on a multitude of topics. And then also please do like, share, and subscribe. We're going to be working on growing this channel. So I really do appreciate any support. All right, thank you. Peace.